Hey Geeks, it's Minx. So I got some exciting news. It might not be exciting for some people just because they probably won't know exactly what I'm talking about. But, it's exciting for me. Let's put it that way, and it'll be exciting for a lot of other fans. Um, Word has come out that they are making a movie about the Dragonriders of Pern. Now, for those of you who don't know, Dragonriders of Pern is actually a book series that has been around for quite a long time. It was written by Anne McCaffrey, and there's like something like, I think they're up to like 22 books in the series, something like that. It's gone on so long that her son Todd has taken over writing the series. Personally, I'm not really into his writing. His writing style is a little meh for me. So when it became apparent that he was writing more of it than she was, I kind of stopped writing. But it doesn't stop the fact that the original books were integral to my growing up. It was the first book series, massive book series that I actually read. I read them when I started reading them when I was like 12 years old. As an example, here's a copy of the book. It's very, very, of the first book. As you can tell, it's very worn. This is like the fourth version that we've had in the house. Pages are falling out. I think my mom finally went and got a new version, because that's how much we read this series in the house. Essentially, the background for the Dragonriders of Pern is that something happened on Earth, and people kind of went their separate ways, and one of the ships found a planet similar to Earth, but its natural inhabitants were these little, like, miniature dragons, these little things that they called fire lizards. And through genetic research and genetic tampering, they got them to gradually grow bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until they could ride them. This came out of necessity because the one bad thing about this planet is that it passed through this almost like an asteroid belt, but instead of like asteroids, it was these filaments that these like filament organism things that they called thread. They're silver and gross, and what happens with these thread is that they when they fall from the sky, when they fall into the atmosphere and stuff, and they come through, they'll burrow, and wherever they burrow, they destroy the land. And so, of course, you don't want that happening if you're trying to freaking colonize it. But what they discovered is that the fire, the fire lizard breathe fire, hence why they're called fucking fire lizards, obviously. Their fire could actually destroy the thread. So that's why they started, genetically tampering with them and creating these large dragons. Well, at the time of the beginning of the series, which is Dragonflight, which will be the first movie, I'm assuming they're going to do more than one with this. I mean, they have a lot of shit to work with. Pretty much, they're down to one last remaining set of dragons, pretty much. Each area is called a were, hence, dragon were. And the story of Dragonflight actually takes place with a character who becomes incredibly integral to the overall story. Her name is Lessa. She was actually the daughter of a lord, and her family was massacred by this asshole who wanted to take over her lands. She is the only one to have survived because she was incredibly smart, and she could talk to, animals. And she hid herself and pretended to be a servant child, and because she was like 10 when this happened, and like 8 or 10, something like that. I can't remember exactly. It's been a little while since I've read it. And she ends up getting found because dragon riders are out on a search. The reason they're out on a search is because it's the final clutch of eggs to have been laid by the now dead queen dragon. And they have to find riders for him. Well, it so happens that the queen dragon has laid a queen dragon egg. So, a female dragon egg. And they look for particular traits in women, because only women can ride the queen dragons, the golden dragons. And so they, the head dude, or who will become the head dude, Falar, ends up discovering Lessa, brings her back to the Were, and all sorts of crazy things happen. She ends up getting herself a dragon. And, you know, things happen. They start changing things, and things start getting crazy better, and her dragon lays more dragon eggs, and, you know, more dragons, and woo! Alright, all sorts of stuff happens. But anyway, it's exciting. Like I said, the series has been around for a long-ass time. I remember reading it when I was 12, and my mom had been reading it for a long-ass time. It's excellent, because I remember, like, 10 years ago talking with my mom, like, oh my god, if they made a movie out of this, who would you pick for the people? And, I guess they've officially gotten the screenwriter who's going to adapt the book into the series, so I'm excited about that. I can't wait to find out who they're going to be picking. I know back in the day when I was originally doing this, like talking to my mom about it, I know that I wanted a specific actress to play Lessa, because I thought she could totally pull it off. Now, at this point, she's probably way too old to play Lessa, which makes me sad. But at the original time, I wanted Sophie Marceau to play her. Sophie Marceau is a French actress. Most people would remember her from two main movies, probably Braveheart. She was the French princess. And she was in one of the James Bond movies, The World Is Not Enough. And you start off thinking she's one of the good guys, one of the chicks he's totally just gonna bang. And then it turns out she's working with the bad guy because she's got Stockholm Syndrome or whatever. But that's one of the reasons why I thought she could totally pull off the part. She's got the semi-exotic look to her. She's got this inner badassness that Lessa has, because Lessa is an extremely strong character. And she's got that leadership vibe. Now, granted, she might still be able to pull it off, but I don't know. I haven't really seen her in anything since those movies, so I don't even know if she's still acting. She's in her late 40s. She's almost 50. And this starts with Lessa being like 18. So, if you haven't checked out the Dragonriders of Pern series, I highly recommend you do. Like I said, it's been around forever. It's got longevity to it. There's over 22 books. Unless you want to start with the prequels, which, you know, you can if you want to. If you want to just get into the main story and the parts that are going to be movie-wise, start with Dragonflight. That's the first book in the series. The next one after that is Dragon Quest, which continues this perfectly. And I believe the third one is my favorite book, which is called The White Dragon, which actually contains my favorite character and my favorite dragon. Hell yeah. Yes, White Dragon. And then you can get into some of the other stuff. But yeah, it's the three main books of the series. Check it out. And I recommend checking it out before they really get going with the movie stuff. That way you know what the hell's going on. So yeah, that's my news. Totally worth the check out. I'm super stoked that this is actually happening, finally. You know, this is something that I feel should have happened like 10 years ago, but at least this way they'll be able to CGI some fucking badass dragons and do some crazy awesome effects and just make it look spectacular. That's it for now. Later, geeks.